In this short video, I'm going to show you how to download and process Watershed Boundary Dataset, or WBD, from United States Geological Survey. In order to follow my steps, you need to go to this website that I have provided on this slide, or you need to go on Canvas and click on the link that I have provided under the video so you can follow what I do with me. This website is USGS National Map Viewer. It will allow you to download different types of data for your study area, and different types of data are presented over here. I will let you explore different types of data that you can download, but I am going to go to this hydrography data and check it, and then click on the Watershed Boundary Dataset, or WBD. When you click on that, you'll have two options. National, obviously we are not interested in the national watershed boundaries, we are interested in regional ones. So I'm going to check the regional one. Once you selected the regional one, you need to zoom into the study area that you are interested in. In this class, I am interested in Lower Minnesota watershed, this watershed, so make sure that the watershed covers the viewing pane that you see over here. Okay, once you are over here, click on Find Products, and after a couple of seconds of loading, you will see that there will be some results for you. But where is actually that result? How can I basically see these results? So if you zoom out a little bit, and you click on the thumbnail, you'll see the coverage of the results, right? Right now, so Minneapolis is over here, our watershed is over here. So when I click on thumbnail, you'll see that my watershed is inside the data. However, if I click on this one, you'll see that my watershed is over here, the data is over here. So it's not covering my study area. So obviously I need to select between these two, but which is which? So the only difference between these two data is the file format. The format of this file is file geodatabase, file GDB. The format of this file is shapefile. I'm interested in file geodatabase because it is a little bit faster than the shapefile. Okay, once you selected your data for your study area, then you need to click download. I'm going to click download, and then I've already created a path for that, and you can see that I've already downloaded the data and unzipped it, but I'm going to do it again. So this is a zipped file. I'm going to save it. As you will see, it will be saved over there. And if I go to the file directory, you can see that there is a zip file in the file directory. So you need to extract the data over here, and the extracted folder will look like this. So right now, because I've already extracted it, I'm going to delete this, and I don't need it. Next, you need to create an ArcGIS Pro project file. And once I created the file, then I will resume the video and I will show it to you. This is my ArcGIS Pro project file. If you have not created it yet and you are following my steps, pause this video, create your project file. I called it class number 23. You can call it whatever you want to. And then once you created your project, resume the video and follow with me. Okay, now what I'm going to do is add the data to my map. So to do that, I'm going to click on Add Data, and then by default, my window directs me to the folder. Yours is probably different, so you need to find the extracted folder that you created. Once you find that, double click on it, and then you will see that there are two folders. One is the geodatabase, and that's one that we are interested in. Double click on it, and then we are interested in Watershed Boundary Dataset. When you click OK, there will be a lot of data set added to your map. Let's see. When you click OK, you will see that lots of data is under your contents pane, right? If you zoom into the study area, you will see a lot of shapefiles over here. We are not interested in many of those, so we are going to simply remove them. So first, we're not interested in drainage line, not interested in non-contributing drainage line, not interested in WBD line, not interested in drainage area, not interested in non-contributing drainage area, and that's it. Okay, so the rest of the file are simply watershed boundaries based on different hydrologic unit classifications. Remember when we were talking about watersheds, I talked about different hydrologic unit codes, and these codes are over here. The smaller the code is, the watersheds are larger and larger. So let me uncheck all of them to show you something. First of all, I'm going to actually show you hydrologic unit 2. So hydrologic unit 2 is the largest watershed, which is this big, right? This is upper Mississippi watershed, so big. And then now if I uncheck this and check hydrologic unit 4, you will see that that big watershed now is divided into multiple smaller watersheds, right? Now if I click on hydrologic unit 8, you will see that the divisions are getting smaller and smaller, right? Okay, so we do not need HU2 and HU4, so I'm going to remove them. This is HU8, good. I'm going to change the symbology to black outlined, and then the lines are a little bit thicker, okay? And now I'm going to show you hydrologic unit, this was 8, I'm going to show you hydrologic units 10. You'll see that these are smaller and smaller. Okay, now if you want to see hydrologic unit 8 over hydrologic unit 10, you just need to hold it and move it up unit 10. There we go. Now you can see what is going on. I only need 10 and 8, so I'm going to remove all the other ones. Perfect. This is not a nice map because I don't see what is going on under this yellow units, right? So I'm going to change the symbology. I'm going to select this black outline and then simply change the color to red maybe, so it's more representative, and apply. There we go, a little bit better. Now I know what is going on. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to zoom into the Minneapolis area to find my watershed that I'm interested in. Perfect. Okay, now this watershed should be familiar for you, right? The big watershed, the HU10, the black one, the HU8, sorry, the black one is Lower Minnesota watershed. And you can see that it is divided into a number of sub-watersheds, right? Okay, now, in order to basically, right now we have many watersheds and sub-watersheds, but we are only interested in Lower Minnesota, right? So we need to select that and then export it. To do that, you need to go under this selection pane and then click on select. Whatever map is up over here, that would be selected. So right now my HU8 is on top, so if I click on some point between in the middle of this black HU8, you will see that the color of my watershed boundaries is changed to kind of blue color, and it is selected. How do I know, but that would be a good question too. How do I know that this is the watershed that I want? So first of all, clear your map, and then once your cursor, click on explore, and then once your cursor is looks like this hand cursor, click on the watershed that you want. You will see that the entire one was selected. Let's do it again. The entire watershed is selected, and if you go under name, you will see that this is Lower Minnesota. I can do that for another one, and this one is Upper Cedar. Okay, once you found your study area watershed, click on select and select it. Okay, now this is selected. I want to export it to a separate file. To do that, you will right click on your HU8 and then go to data and then export feature. I'm going to export feature from HU8, and this is by default should be the name of your project, and output feature class, I'm going to call it Lower Minnesota Watershed underscore HU8. Okay, and once you selected that, click run. After a couple of seconds, one file should appear over here called Lower Minnesota Watershed HU8. Now you can clear the selection. There we go. Now if I uncheck HU8 and HU10, you will see that the only watershed that I selected and exported is my study area. But wait a second. What if you are interested in all sub-watersheds inside this HU10 watershed. In other words, what if I want to select all these red small watersheds that I have over here? Okay, to do that, it's very simple actually. So remember that the selection tool works for the top layer. So I'm gonna hold this WBD HU10 and put it on top. Okay, now I'm going to go ahead and click on select, and one by one hold shift and one by one select the sub watersheds that I'm interested in. So I'm interested in this one, and I'm holding shift on my keyboard, and I'm interested in this one and this one and this one and this one, and I'm going to basically select all the sub watershed that I'm interested in. All right, once you selected all of those, again I'm going to do the same thing. Right click on your HU10 data, export feature. I'm going to call it Lower Minnesota Watershed HU10, and then run the ArcGIS function. You will see that it will appear over here, and now I'm going to clear my selection, and I'm going to clear WBD, uncheck WBD HU10. So you will see that right now the only things that are checked are Lower Minnesota Watershed HU8. So I'm going to remove WBD HU10. I don't need it anymore, and I'm going to remove WBD HU8. Now, if I hold this and put it on top, you will see that this is my study area, the big watershed, and the small sub watersheds. Perfect. Now, this would be how you download watershed boundary data set and how you process that. Okay. Please do not close this project. Just save it. We are going to add to it. We're going to add land use, land type, and soil type to this project later. So save your project and do not close it. And watch the next video to show you. I'm going to show you how to move forward and add to this map.